My name is Claire. I am 36 years old. I live in Chicago with my husband and our 2 daughters. My husband's name is Robert. He is 58 years old. We have been married for 18 years. Our first daughter is 17 years old. Our second daughter is only 1 year old. We live in a small apartment. It is quiet and clean. It is not big, but it is enough for us. Robert works full-time at an insurance company. I stay at home and take care of the baby. Before the baby was born, I worked part-time as a teacher, but now I am on leave. I am not earning money. Robert pays most of the bills. We also have a loan for our apartment. We both signed the loan, but now I cannot help much. I feel bad about it. I always thought Robert loved me. He was older, but he was kind to me in the beginning. He told me sweet things. He brought me flowers sometimes. He made me feel special. I believed he was a good man. I trusted him. But something changed a few months ago. He started coming home late. He said work was busy. He said he had meetings or extra hours. At first, I believed him. I said, "Okay, just take care of yourself." But later, I started to feel something was wrong. He stopped talking to me like before. He looked at his phone a lot. He kept his phone with him always. He even took it into the bathroom. When I asked who he was texting, he just said, "Work stuff." Then he changed the topic. He never looked into my eyes when he said that. One night, he came home very late. He said he had dinner with some people from work. But I noticed something strange. He was wearing cologne, but he never wore cologne to the office. His shirt looked ironed again, even though he left home in a wrinkled one. And he was smiling to himself when he walked in. I asked him, "Robert, did you really go to work?" He got angry. "Why are you asking so many questions? Don't you trust me?" I felt scared. I said, "Sorry. I was just worried." He walked past me without saying anything. That night I couldn't sleep. The next day he left for work early. I stayed at home with the baby. I kept thinking about last night. I felt nervous. I didn't want to believe he was hiding something, but my heart said he was. After I put the baby to sleep, I picked up his old phone from the drawer. He had a new phone now, but sometimes he still used the old one. I charged it and turned it on. The call history showed one number many times. The same number appeared again and again. Morning, afternoon, and late at night. I wrote down the number on a piece of paper. My hands were shaking. Later, when Robert went to work again, I called the number. "Hello?" A woman answered. "Hi, who is this?" I asked. "Who are you?" she replied. "I'm Claire. I'm Robert's wife." She was quiet for a second. Then she said, "So? That's not my problem." "Are you in a relationship with Robert?" I asked again. "Yes," she said. "He didn't tell you?" I felt my chest become tight. I was holding the phone, but my hand felt weak. "He comes to me That's all I care about, she said. I couldn't listen anymore. I ended the call. I sat on the floor and cried. I felt broken. That night when Robert came home, I told him, I know about her, I said. I called the number. I spoke to her. He looked surprised for a second. Then he shouted, "Why are you going through my phone? That's my private life." I said, "You are my husband. You are lying to me. We have children. We have a family. How can you do this?" He said, "You always make problems. You never understand. I'll stop when I want. Don't try to control me." Then he walked away and went into the bedroom. He didn't say sorry. He didn't try to explain. After that, everything got worse. He stayed out late. Sometimes he didn't come home at all. He didn't tell me where he was going. He didn't answer my calls. I waited for him every night. I sat by the window. I looked at the clock. I checked my phone. But he didn't message me. When he came home the next morning, he acted like nothing happened. "Where were you?" I asked. "I was busy," he said. "Stop asking me questions. I don't have time for this." His words hurt me. I felt like I didn't matter anymore. I started noticing money problems too. I checked our bank account. I saw that Robert was spending a lot of money. He bought perfume, dresses, expensive meals at restaurants. I knew those were not for me. We don't go to restaurants anymore. We don't buy gifts for each other. I asked him, "Why are you spending so much money? We need to pay the loan. We have children." He said, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." But he didn't handle anything. The money was going fast. I stopped buying things for myself. I saved every dollar. I even borrowed money from my sister for baby food. He didn't care. The stress was too much. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I started losing hair. I went to the doctor. He told me, "You are very stressed. You need to rest." But how could I rest? My husband was in love with someone else. My family needed money. My baby needed care. I felt like my life was falling apart. Even our older daughter noticed. "Mom, are you okay?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said, trying to smile. But she knew the truth. She said, "Dad doesn't love us anymore." I didn't know what to say. One evening, she tried to talk to Robert. "Dad, please stop this. You're hurting Mom. You're hurting all of us." He got angry. "Stay out of this," he shouted. She cried. She ran to her room. That night I sat with her. She said, "Why is he doing this? Doesn't he care about us?" I held her and cried too. I didn't have any answers. I talked to my best friend. I told her everything. She said, "Claire, maybe it's time to think about yourself. You can't keep living like this." "But I don't have a job. I can't take care of the girls alone," I said. "You're stronger than you think," she said. I wanted to believe her, but I felt weak. I felt lost. I didn't know what to do next. Before I share the rest of my story, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? It gives me strength to know someone is hearing my words, someone who understands me. Please tell me in the comments. I would really love to know. I met Robert when I was only 18. I had just finished school. My friend invited me to her wedding. It was a small wedding at a community hall in Chicago. There was music, food, and many people dancing. Everyone was happy. I was enjoying myself with my friends. We laughed, talked, and danced a lot that evening. That's when I saw him. Robert was standing near the wall. He was tall and wearing a dark suit. He wasn't dancing. He wasn't smiling either, but he kept looking at me. At first, I didn't pay attention. I thought maybe he was a friend of the bride's family. But later, I noticed that he was always watching me. He didn't talk to anyone. He didn't eat much. He just stood there and looked at me from far. 2 days after the wedding, I got a message on my phone. It was from an unknown number. The message said, "Hi, I saw you at the wedding. Can we talk?" I was surprised. I didn't know who it was. I replied, "Who are you?" He wrote back, "I'm the man from the wedding. You looked beautiful. I want to know you." I didn't know what to say. I was young. I had never been in a relationship before, but I felt curious. So I replied, "Okay, we can talk." That's how we started chatting. He was very polite. He said many sweet things. He said, "You are different. You are special. I like you a lot." We talked for hours every day. Just after 2 days of chatting, he said something that shocked me. He said, "I want to marry you. I see you as my wife." I didn't know what to say. I was confused. I said, "But we don't even know each other well." He replied, "I know what I feel. You are the one for me. Please say yes. I promise I will take care of you. I will make you happy." His words touched my heart. I believed him. He seemed honest. He seemed kind. I didn't tell my parents at first, but I started to like him. Soon, I told my family. My parents were surprised. They said he was much older than me, but Robert came to our house. He spoke nicely. He showed respect. He said he wanted a family. He said he didn't care about age. He only cared about love. My family agreed. Our wedding was simple. Only close friends and family came. I wore a white dress. He wore a suit. He looked very happy. I thought I was lucky. I thought I found the perfect man. In the beginning, everything was good. He brought me small gifts. He took me to dinner sometimes. He said kind things. He called me my angel and my sunshine. I felt loved. I felt safe. After a few weeks, I moved into his apartment. I cooked. I cleaned. I tried to be a good wife. I was young and I believed everything he said. But after 1 month, I noticed a small change. One evening, I saw him smiling at his phone. He looked very happy. I asked, "Who are you talking to?" He quickly put his phone down and said, "Just a friend." I didn't ask more. I didn't want to fight. I trusted him. Some months later, I became pregnant with our first daughter. Robert looked happy. He said, "You will be a great mother." I was excited. I thought having a baby would bring us closer, but things didn't go as I hoped. Robert started coming home late. He said work was busy. He didn't want to go shopping with me. He didn't come to the doctor's appointments. He stopped calling me during the day. I felt lonely. One night when I was 7 months pregnant, he didn't come home. I waited. I called him, but he didn't answer. The next morning, he came back and said, "I was with a friend. Don't act like a child." After our daughter was born, I stayed home full time. I was tired. I didn't sleep much. I needed help, but Robert was always busy. He didn't hold the baby much. He didn't help at night. He said, "I need rest. I go to work." I felt like I was alone. Years passed. I got a small teaching job. I worked a few hours a week. Our daughter grew. She went to school. Life became a little easier. I thought maybe things would get better. Robert still had his moods, but I tried to be patient. But one evening, something strange happened. I went to the shop and I saw Robert in his car. He was with a woman. I knew her. She was from our old neighborhood. She was not young. She had 3 children. Her husband worked abroad. I looked at them. They were laughing together. I stood there, frozen. I didn't know what to do. When I got home, I asked Robert, "Were you with someone?" He said, "Don't spy on me. You are not my boss." That night, I couldn't sleep. Later, I checked his phone. I found messages from her. The messages were sweet. He called her my love and my everything. I was shocked. He never said those words to me, but he said them to her. He also sent her money. I saw bank transfers. I saw photos of them at restaurants. He even took her children to the park. He never did that for our daughter. My heart was broken. I asked him again. I showed him the phone. He looked at me and said, "I made a mistake. I'm sorry." I cried. I shouted, "You lied to me. You made me believe you loved me. But all this time, you were with her." He said, "Please forgive me. I will stop. Just give me another chance." I didn't know what to do. I was young. I had a small child. I had no job. I felt lost. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell my friends. I stayed quiet. I thought he would change. After Robert said sorry, I decided to give him one more chance. I didn't do it because I believed him. I did it because of my daughter. I didn't want her to grow up in a broken home. I wanted to keep my family together. I told myself, maybe he is really sorry. Maybe he will change. So I stayed. I forgave him, at least on the outside. But inside, I didn't feel the same. I no longer trusted him. I no longer smiled around him. My heart was tired. Still, I tried to be strong. I cooked. I cleaned. I looked after our daughter. I tried to act like everything was okay. For some time, Robert was quiet. He didn't stay out too late. He didn't spend too much money. He said kind things to me again. But my heart didn't feel peace. I always felt something was not right. Then I found out I was pregnant again. I didn't expect it. It just happened. When I told Robert, he was not happy. He didn't smile. He didn't say, "Congratulations." He just said, "Okay, we'll manage." That moment hurt me more than I can explain. I was carrying our baby, and he didn't care. He didn't even ask how I felt. That's when I knew. I was truly alone in this marriage. As the months passed, things started to get worse again. Robert began coming home late. Sometimes he stayed out all night. I asked him, "Where are you?" He said, "Don't ask me silly questions." He started spending money like before. I saw restaurant bills, perfume receipts, and gifts. I knew it was happening again. I didn't need to check his phone this time. My heart already knew. One day, I called him and a woman answered. It wasn't the same woman from before. This was someone else. She said, "He's busy. Don't call again." She ended the call. I stared at my phone. My hands were cold. My face was wet with tears. That night, I didn't wait for him. I packed some clothes. I took my baby in my arms. I told my older daughter, "We are going to Grandma's house." She looked at me and asked, "Is it happening again?" I said, "Yes, but this time, I am not staying quiet." We went to my parents' home. They were surprised. They asked, "Why are you here?" I didn't answer at first. I just said, "I need some time." After a few days, I told them everything. They were shocked. My father was very angry. My mother cried. But then they said, "You are always welcome here. You and your daughters are not alone." Robert called after 1 week. He said, "When are you coming back?" I told him, "I am not coming back this time." He laughed and said, "You can't live without me. You need my money. You need my help." I said, "No. I don't need your lies. I don't need your cheating. I will find a way." He got angry. He shouted bad words. He said, "You will regret this." But I didn't feel afraid anymore. After a few weeks, I got a small job at a local school. It was not easy with a baby, but my mother helped me. My older daughter also helped after school. I started earning a little money. It was not much, but it was mine. I still loved Robert once. I still wished he was a better man, but I stopped waiting for him to change. I stopped hoping for love from someone who didn't care about me. I decided to file for divorce. I didn't tell Robert at first. I just met with a lawyer. I started the paperwork. When he found out, he called me again. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. I said, "Because I finally understand my worth." He said, "You're being emotional." I said, "No, I'm being brave." Months passed. Life was not easy, but it felt honest. My daughter started smiling again. She said, "Mom, I'm proud of you." That made me cry. Not because I was sad, but because I felt seen. I felt respected again. I stopped thinking about Robert. I stopped checking his social media. I stopped waiting for his messages. I focused on myself. I focused on my children. One day, I got an offer to work in another city. It was a better job with better pay. I thought for a long time. Then I said yes. I moved with my daughters. It was a new beginning. We rented a small place. I decorated the house with simple things, pictures, flowers, and soft lights. It was not a big house, but it was peaceful. There were no lies in that house, no late nights, no shouting, just love. Sometimes at night, I sit by the window. I think about my old life. I remember the pain, the lies, the fear, but I don't cry anymore. I feel proud. I made a hard choice. I walked away from a man I once loved. I chose myself. I chose my daughters. I don't know what Robert is doing now. Maybe he is still lying. Maybe he is still chasing other women. I don't care. My story is not perfect, but it is real. And now it belongs to me. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more emotional English stories.